if there's any issue, I guess.
Hello everybody, welcome to Defense Vault. If you've even casually followed news about US Army weapons, it's almost impossible not to have heard about the new M7 rifle. Opinions are split. Some see it as a long overdue and necessary upgrade, while others ask more skeptically, did we really need this? It seems the US Army has concluded that future infantry combat can no longer rely on the aging M4. They're looking for a weapon with greater range, more stopping power, and higher adaptability on the battlefield. But the M7 isn't just a slightly stronger M4. It represents a serious shift in weapons philosophy, from a new caliber to a different shooting feel and entirely new expectations. Naturally, a change this big generates both excitement and controversy. Many questions are still being debated: how the M7 performs in real combat conditions, whether the added power truly justifies the extra weight, and what this shift means for soldiers who have spent decades using 5.56mm platforms. So, if you want to understand what the M7 actually brings to the table and why it's getting so much attention, let's break it down step by step. What is the M7 rifle? At its simplest, the M7 is intended to be the US Army's next step beyond the M4, or at least that's the direction things currently point toward. It's the result of a broader rethink of what an infantry rifle needs to do on a modern battlefield. Rather than sticking with 5.56mm and hoping incremental upgrades could keep pace with emerging threats, the Army chose to pursue something with greater range and more stopping power. That mindset is exactly what led to the creation of the M7. Origins of the SIG Sauer XM7. Taking a wider view, the M7 emerged from the NGSW program, the Next Generation Squad Weapon. The Army launched this effort out of concern that existing small arms might struggle in future conflicts, especially against improved body armor and longer-range engagements. The idea was to rethink everything from the ground up: rifle design, optics, and even ammunition. SIG Sauer's entry, originally known as the XM7, ultimately won the competition. The X simply indicated that the rifle was still experimental, a placeholder while the Army evaluated whether the platform was worth adopting. Once it met enough requirements, the X was dropped, and the rifle officially became the M7. This entire process went hand in hand with a new cartridge, advanced fire control systems, and a broader shift in how infantry squads may operate over the next decade. While it's still early to draw final conclusions, the move from XM7 to M7 clearly signals the Army's confidence not just in this rifle, but in this overall direction to reshape standard frontline equipment. M7 rifle specifications, caliber, and ammunition. The core difference between the M7 and previous generations lies in the 6.8 by 51mm hybrid cartridge. This round isn't just larger, it reflects a new approach to what an infantry cartridge should deliver in modern combat. The Army is betting that future adversaries will appear with stronger body armor and engage at longer distances. The hybrid case, combining brass and steel, allows the round to operate at much higher pressures, resulting in higher muzzle velocity, flatter trajectories, and greater energy on impact. Compared to the 5.56 by 45mm, the 6.8 offers stronger penetration at range, more reliable energy transfer beyond roughly 300 to 400 meters, and better armor-defeating capability. The trade-offs are clear: heavier ammunition, increased recoil, and 20-round magazines instead of 30. Even so, the Army appears to view this compromise worthwhile, especially as protection levels continue to rise. Weight, recoil, and handling. The M7, especially with its mandatory suppressor, is noticeably heavier than the M4. The rifle alone weighs about 4.4 kilograms, and with the suppressor and optic, total weight climbs to roughly 5 to 5.4 kilograms. For some soldiers, that weight is manageable. For others, depending on mission type and duration, it becomes noticeable quickly. Recoil from the 6.8mm round is stronger than 5.56, but the gas system and suppressor help keep it controlled. It's not unmanageable, just more authoritative. Ergonomically, the rifle feels familiar, but its added bulk compared to the M4 is impossible to ignore. Range and accuracy. This is arguably the M7's strongest selling point.
The combination of the new cartridge and the standard advanced fire control optic allows soldiers to engage targets well beyond the reliable limits of 5.56 carbines. Exact figures are still evolving, but the effective range comfortably exceeds 500 meters, with some configurations reaching 600 to 700 meters. The optic's laser rangefinder and ballistic computer reduce guesswork, potentially allowing regular infantry to achieve ranges once reserved for designated marksmen. Advanced features and technology. The M7 is built around modern technology. Its integrated suppressor is standard, designed to reduce blast, flash, and improve communication, especially in close-quarters combat. The trade-offs include added length, weight, and heat buildup, but the Army believes the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. The fire control optic represents the biggest technological leap. By assisting with ranging and ballistic calculations, it improves consistency at long distances without replacing the shooter's skill. It's not futuristic magic, but a practical blend of marksmanship and light digital assistance. The M7's rifle remains familiar: rails, ambidextrous controls, and modern mounting options. Everything is simply built tougher and optimized for the 6.8mm system, offering flexibility despite the added weight. Controversies and criticisms. The biggest controversy surrounding the M7 is weight, both the rifle itself and the heavier 6.8mm ammunition. Carrying fewer rounds while already managing heavy gear raises valid concerns about fatigue and endurance. Another debate involves over-penetration. The powerful 6.8mm round may pass through walls, vehicles, or cover more easily in urban environments. While this concern accompanies nearly every new caliber, the Army appears to be willing to accept the risk given increasing armor threats. Cost, procurement, and industry influence. Large programs like NGSW inevitably draw criticism over cost, logistics, and industry influence. Replacing rifles, machine guns, ammunition, and optics simultaneously is expensive and logistically demanding. While investing in future capability is normal for modern militaries, long-term sustainment, especially of hybrid-cased ammunition, remains a valid concern. Supply chain disruptions could impact training and readiness. Industry influence is also inevitable at this scale, which doesn't make the M7 a bad rifle, but does mean its adoption hasn't been politically clean. Fielding and soldier feedback. The M7 is currently being deployed in a controlled, phased manner and has not fully replaced the M4. Early feedback from soldiers is cautiously positive. The extended range, power, and new optic are praised, while weight and suppressor heat remain consistent concerns. The general sentiment so far feels like this has real potential, but it still needs refinement. M7 versus M4. Is the M7 better? In terms of caliber and ballistics, the M7 offers greater energy, flatter trajectories, and improved armor penetration compared to the 5.56. The M4, however, remains lighter, easier to handle, and simpler to support logistically. The new caliber looks like a forward-leaning gamble, possibly ideal for future conflicts, but not always necessary for everyday training or urban operations. So, is the M7 better than the M4? It depends on what better means. For range and stopping power, the M7 wins. For weight, handling, and logistics, the M4 still makes sense. The M7 is designed for future threats and sits slightly ahead of current infantry doctrine. Not a fault, but a signal that adaptation will take time.
What do you think? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more defense analysis. Until the next video, take care and stay safe.